Hi everyone, welcome back to Sports Kathi. Today we have just seen the end of one of the disappointing test matches against England at Chennai, and here is Bhanu, Rohit and Karan to discuss about it. I'm the person who has seen the least of the match, so I think I don't feel much good discussing about this match because again after the Gabba test we are coming back to one of our fortress at Chennai and we expected a lot from India, and that's why this match hurts just as much as it might have hurt for the Australian fans when they lost at Gabba. So I think I'll pass on to who is it? I think Bhanu has prepared the most. Can you lead? What could the discussion be of this match?
Hey Vaishakh, thank you so much. Good to be here once again. Hello fans, I hope you all are doing good and staying safe. Very disappointing test match, I'm sure, for all of us. That I think the day got over very quickly. Just out of words, honestly, after seeing that test match and the manner in which we lost, to see a team like England come to our country and dominate almost every day was not really a good feeling. You can see I'm just not able to find the right words, but I'll start off by asking Rohit, hey Rohit, what do you think was, what was your reaction immediately when you saw the score at the end of every day? Or what moment do you feel, we actually let the match really slip away from us? What is your instant reaction to this loss?
Oh, the instant reaction to the loss is definitely disappointment. But having said that, I felt we were never there in the match. We never got a foothold in the match. We were never actually we didn't even put up a fight in the match. That's actually the sad part. Maybe take some part of the second innings when England was batting, there was some energy and some fight, but otherwise it was a very dull performance, a very non-Kohli like or un-Kohli like performance. Because generally when he's captain, we always see something happening on the field. This time I did not see that fight. I did not see it during the fielding. I did not see it during the batting. I felt, throughout the match, I felt we were always in the back foot and, England deserved the win. So yes, I'm disappointed, and that's pretty much.
So that's very, very right. That's so well put. Yeah, yesterday all of us as fans, I remember discussing with these guys on the WhatsApp group, the energy on the field when Ashwin was bowling, especially after that first ball wicket. We all really thought this test match, we can get more out of this test match, at least a draw. I mean, I initially thought my reaction was India has put England back on, the back foot for that matter, especially because we all thought they have prolonged the declaration and just the way in which their batsmen were batting. But can't say anything beyond the fact that India did not apply themselves well today. And like Rohit rightly mentioned, the fighting spirit that we are used to seeing from this Indian cricket team as recently as Australia was just missing on all 5 days, not just during their batting, not just during their time at the crease, but even on the field. Through the 90 overs in the first and the second day, there were many periods when the team's shoulders were down. And let's ask Karan, must have been a very contrasting experience from him, coming from the high of the Gabba win to now see our team do so poorly and lose to England in the opening match of the series, which we were all waiting for. Karan, what is your reaction to this loss?
Honestly, I'm a bit disappointed with the way the Indian team has played. But the one thing what I expected was that it would be the English team which would come out unprepared. But what happened is it's the Indian team that came out unprepared. Even though in the second innings we looked a little high on enthusiasm, but the English team did their research right, and we tried to probably understand from what happened in the Sri Lankan season. We tried to this against them, but I feel that did not work out. So I feel that the Indian team was a bit unprepared and they were driving a bit too high on that emotion of winning at Gabba and so on and so forth. And a lot of batsmen were and the bowlers, not just the batsmen, both the batting unit and the bowling unit were just not in the sync. They looked a bit tired, or there was something which was missing there. Maybe the preparation wasn't right, or I just felt that this wasn't the Indian team which I saw at the Gabba. And I'm pretty sure that's what you guys felt as well.
No, I think you're right because, at some point today, I really felt watching Virat Kohli stand by himself alone on the other end of the crease, that he just felt like 11 individuals trying to come and, maybe just stay for a while. There was really no team plan. There was really no execution of any kind of a synchronized batting strategy from our opening batsmen right when they came to bat. Of course, Rohit Sharma, got out to a peach of a delivery by Leach, and we'll discuss about him in a few minutes. But I think after that, India really never discussed or planned how they would break down the 90 overs and take it session by session today. I really felt there had to be more caution in the morning when we came out to bat by both Pujara and Gill. But on the contrary, we saw some of these batsmen taking the bowlers, for hits and going for shots, which I'm sure England did not mind and was definitely their game plan. They would not have minded stretching the field for a little bit to give us a hope of win. But 420 runs on the final day at a Chepauk pitch was definitely something, we all could not have hoped for. But the manner in which our team collapsed and just the way in which the wickets fell one after the other without really any long partnership other than the one between Ashwin and Kohli, for me really gave it away. I really felt the fighting spirit die down through the day in the team, and we saw that in the result. 227 run loss at home for India at Chepauk is not something that I'm sure our team will take lightly, and I hope to see them come back and rise to power. But before that next test match, let's quickly just take both the teams one by one and see what are some of the key performances or some of the key differences that we expected. Let's start with Rohit. Rohit, I know you are very unhappy with the selection and the playing 11 for this match. You voiced it through the 5 days. Every time Nadeem came to ball, every time you saw the wrong batsman on the pitch. Tell us, what do you think really went wrong now that the match is over?
Okay, coming to selection, I had actually voiced my opinion even before before this test, saying that squad selection itself was wrong for me, because personally, for me, the selection of Washington Sundar or Washington Sundar mainly for that reason was not the right person in the squad itself. As Ravi Shastri mentioned that we should wear 36 as a badge. I feel that we are now wearing the badge of Gabba for too long, and that's affecting us, because Washington Sundar, we need to remember, is a very good youngster, but he is not a test player for now. And his bowling is not test class. He did a decent job with the bat in Gabba, which is very good, but his bowling was average, and we couldn't take him here. For me, starting from there, he shouldn't have been in the squad. For me, there are much better Ranji players. I was just mentioning before the podcast about Jalaj Saxena or Shreyas Gopal, who gives you variety, who gives you balance, who gives you similar batting performances. They should have been better in the squad. Now coming to all that, leave the squad is selected. Coming to team, unfortunately, what happened was, I understand that Akshay Patel, got injured just moments before the first test, and that actually kind of put our selection in a poor state, because we were forced to pick Washington Sundar because he was the only batting all-rounder available in that. So, he had to come in. And now Patel's injury also caused another impact, is that we then had to go with Nadeem over Kuldeep Yadav, because Nadeem being a left-arm spinner, we wanted variety in our bowling compared to Kuldeep Yadav, who would have been again similar to Sundar and Ashwin in terms of spinning the ball towards right-hand batsman. So that was more of a forced selection. And I don't want to talk more about Nadeem's performance, because I had higher expectations when he came into the match. I did not live up to it. So I'll stop it there, and I'll hand over to Karan. I think he has good words regarding Nadeem and performance.
Yeah. But before we just pull in Karan, I think the disappointment of not seeing our strongest 11, I think definitely hits us, right? Even I was very surprised to see Nadeem in the playing 11. Even the selection of Washington Sundar, like you rightly said, it was just the high of the Brisbane win, I think, which secured his position in the playing 11 in this match. But can't take it away from him. I think he was one of the batsmen, one of the only ones who applied himself in the first innings. We have to say that Washington Sundar is proving his critics wrong every time he gets a chance, though, in the test match side of things, specifically. Speaking about what did not go right, Karan, any other performance apart from Shahbaz Nadeem that you really felt deserves a mention here, should have done better? Any of our players you think it's time for them to step up and bring their A game on?
So I would like to answer that question in two ways, with respect to our batting and with respect to our bowling. When you talk about batting, we say that, okay, Rohit Sharma is a test opener, and maybe he sometimes when he plays in foreign conditions, it's not up to his standards. Maybe he's 50-50 there. He had a bad IPL, but now he was playing at home conditions. So the least Rohit Sharma could have done is at least score a half century in this match to just calm himself down. But he had scores of 6 and 10, if I'm not wrong. Now, even though Shubman Gill looked well, Like he scored 29 in the first innings, scored a 50 in the second innings. I feel that it's time for him to step up, and playing at home conditions at this point of time, it's time for him to at least score 1 century in the remaining 3 test matches. Because when he bats, he looks beautiful. His timing is spot on. The ballers are scared, but then he throws away his wicket once he reaches 50 or 40 or that 45 odd. And the same problem happens with Rishabh Pant. He starts off well, tongs a few, gets to 90, and then with that, the way he plays, I mean, you can't blame him, but that's the way he plays. So I feel that if these guys show a little more temperament, it will become better. The one, I wouldn't say culprit, but the one player who needs to step up his game massively is Ajinkya Rahane. His scores were 1 and 0 throughout the game. And the issue is not him not scoring runs. The way he got out in the first and second innings. But I understand that Jimmy Anderson was in a high. He was giving a good spell. He was reverse swinging. But being the number 5 batsman for India, you can't have so much gap between your bat and pad. Like, I understand whatever the condition is, you can't afford to have that in a crunch situation where you know it is day 5. So I feel that Ajinkya Rahane really needs to step up. And Virat Kohli did score a 79, but maybe if Virat Kohli would have stayed in the first innings, it would have become India would have had a better score. So I feel that batting wise, there's a lot of gaps which India needs to cover up.
Definitely.
And now when you talk about bowling, right? Now when you see when the team started, I understand that we had Nadeem, Washington Sundar, we had Ishant, we had Bumrah, and then we had Ashwin. But I nowhere feel that this team should have conceded 578 runs. The one thing which pissed me off most was the number of extras and predominantly the no balls which were bowled. Now, if you score 578 runs and you've given away 45 runs in extras, it is a huge issue. Out of those 45 extras, 20 have been no balls. And that is something you don't expect out of an Indian team. And especially spinners like Nadeem giving away 6 no balls in the first innings, I feel that pretty much shows that he wasn't prepared well enough for the game. That basically happened because Akshar Patel was injured. So basically Nadeem wasn't ready to play the game. But because of the last minute injury to Akshar Patel, they had to pick up Nadeem because they had to get someone who's a left arm spinner. And then he just wasn't in that thick of things. And he just wasn't, he didn't look prepared in my opinion. And it's not just him who bowled 20 no balls. It was everyone. It was Bumrah, it was Ashwin, it was Ishant Sharma. So I feel that predominantly those extras hurt us a bit. And even the line and length, even though on the first day the pitch wasn't doing so much, but I felt that we could have improved or been a little more conservative with respect to a line and length. That is, I feel, with respect to our bowling. And then in the second innings, we got them out for 178. 178. Ashwin picked up 6 wickets. I mean, they wanted to score quick runs. We were there. The fielders were there. It was okay. But still, Nadeem's and Washington Sundar did not bowl in the second innings, but predominantly Nadeem. So I feel that's another area where the team needs to improve.
Nice. Perfect. I don't know how there is any other performance that even comes to mind. I think apart from the 6 wickets that Ashwin took yesterday on the 4th day, which I honestly believe was more a reason of England's desire to score in a hurry and put a bigger total on the board. I don't think it was really Ashwin's superb bowling per se that got him all the 6 wickets. But not taking that away from him, I think the one thing that stands out for me is just in both the innings how our top order disappointed across every opportunity that any batsman got. All of us have taken names of the entire batting order here. But if Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and Cheteshwar Pujara together do not score 100 runs in a test match, I mean, why are we even thinking about wanting to winning this series, right? And for me, that stands out as one of the most important reasons, which is pulling not just the team, but the entire dressing room down, right? Yes, the Gabba series gave us heroes in Rishabh Pant and Washington Sundar and Shardul Thakurs and Mohammad Sirajes, but none of them are in the playing 11 or don't have the opportunity now. And it's time for the regular 11 to step back and bring their A game on. It hurts me to see India at number 3 in the world, I think number 4 now in the WTC table after this test match is over, right? And that goes to show how poorly we've been consistent in terms of winning games, whether at home or away, throughout this championship. Now let's jump back to England. I think we'll keep this short, but for me, if I had to summarize how well England played this match, I will give all our viewers just one statistic. They won 9 out of the 14 sessions played in this test match. 9 out of 14, right? India managed to win just 2, and the remaining 3 sessions were tied. Goes to show how England were on the front foot throughout the test match in every session. Not only did they plan their scoring rate and their bowling changes effectively, I think what England did really, really well was understand what India's weaknesses are and therefore play the game into India's weaknesses. Whether it was making sure India batted for as long as we thought India batted in their first innings. I think there was a strategy there. England was happy to let India score a few more runs and just wait to bat for a few more overs on the next day. They were waiting for the new ball. I think England wanted their bowlers to get a chance to bowl a longer spell and get used to and prepare their bodies for the upcoming series. Also, not to forget that the Sri Lanka experience that England was carrying into this test match proved to be really valuable because almost every player with a performance in Sri Lanka came to India and stuck to their basics and played their A game. All the names that we were discussing before the test match really did well. So I think all in all, it's a fantastic start for England. Rohit covered what went wrong with our selection and Karan covered what went wrong with our performances. I think from an England point of view, they will be really happy to come to India and go back to sleep today with all the points from this test match. Moving on, I think just one more section of today's discussion that I want to cover. What do you guys feel this should mean for India going forward? Any changes that you're expecting? Rohit, do you want to take a shot at that?
Sure, yeah. Going forward again, as we were discussing before this podcast started, it really depends on what pitch we are going to play in. Yes, we're going to play in Chennai, that's for sure. But what kind of pitch are we going to look at? If we are going to have a similar pitch, first thing, we need to reassess our team in a way that, we need to balance out. Yes, Sundar was played in as a batting all-rounder, a bowling all-rounder in many ways. But I think, I think that did not work. Okay, that's over and done. Now, if it's similar pitch, we go with 3 pacers. Siraj should be the obvious option, and we go with Kuldeep Yadav and Ashwin are the 2 spinners, and that should be our structure. If in case the pitch is going to be slightly more turning, and if I am an Indian captain, what I would be asking the curator would be put some more, prepare a slightly more dustier turning pitch, because India wants to win matches, and secondly, England spinners, no matter they pick more wickets than Indian spinners, they did not look impressive, to be fair. They did not look impressive at all. Maybe the last year, Leach did ball decently, but they did not look impressive. So our spinners are superior. So let's prepare something that's slightly more turning. And I would ask for that. And if I get that pitch, I would go for 3 spinners over 3 spinners, but 3 different spinners. I really would hope that, I would really hope that Akshar Patel is fit. If not case, I would bring in Rahul Chahar and Kuldeep Yadav as my 3 spinners, and they bat, and they would be 3 spinners with the 2 pacers. So that's my team. Otherwise, I really hope Rahane gets one more good going and batting improves. That's pretty much what the changes are.
Well, we are all playing for Rahane, aren't we? Well, another thing that our viewers should know is that this England win has poised the WTC very, very excitingly. Vaishakh, our numbers man, has been keeping a good eye on the remaining possibilities that remain. Given we have 3 more matches and one of England or India will definitely qualify and face New Zealand. So, hey, Vaishakh, can you update our users and what are the Aussie fans looking at here?
Thank you for your kind words, but I think all of us are keeping an eye on it. So as you said, England is top of the table right now. So that's rightly said. It's so tight. The points. So India is at 4th at 68.3%, and England is at the top at 70.2. And what England needs to manage to survive is to just get about 69.2, which is where Australia is at. So England just needs 2 more wins to survive and get to WTC, which is easy to say because they need to do that in Indian conditions. And I hope, as an Indian fan, India won't be as complacent as we all talked about. So many factors that helped England win it. It was rather India losing the match rather than England winning it. So in those many aspects, it's easy to say, but as a matter of fact, England wins 2 more matches, regardless of what happens in the 3rd match. England qualifies for WTC. And for India, yes, India needs to win 2 more matches, but it is not regardless of the third match. India need to at least get a draw in the third match. So either 3 wins from now or 2 wins and a draw. Those are the only 2 scenarios which can see India qualify. Any other scenario, if India and England cancel out, Australians would be happy and they would qualify. So that's the situation as of now.
Understood.
Yeah.
So a simple fan for the Indian team. You lose one more and you're out of WTC, and you have to win at least 2 of the remaining 3. I think it's a simple equation for us fans to remember. Lose, go home, and win the remaining. I think that's how I'll keep it in my mind. Having said that, I think there is not much more that we would like to share with you. It's been a disappointing day.
But Bhanu, I just want to give a big, I just want to add one thing is that we need to mention here, and I want to talk about his route. How good Root was. I'm sorry. I know it's an Indian podcast. We're talking about Indian players, Indian performance, but Root was exceptionally good. I saw him in Sri Lanka. I saw him sweeping there. I saw him being successful against Embal Dania and Dilwan Pereira. I did not expect him to come and do this against Ashwin. The way, even yesterday, the way he was playing Ashwin, scoring 15 runs of his over, playing reverse sweeps and sweeps, incredible. He was toying with the best spin bowler in the world in turning conditions. He was toying with him, and I think Root was exceptional. And I think
absolutely. I'm so sorry I missed mentioning Root and even Jimmy Anderson for that matter. Great, both of them great players, and definitely the pillars for England's performance throughout this Test match. Joe Root's captaincy also, he led from the front, made the right bowling changes at the right time. I was very impressed with his bowling rotations, making sure Anderson or Archer are always live from one end. Instead of bowling them simultaneously, I think he used them very well throughout the day during India's first innings. So very rightly said, Rohit. Which makes me hope that we are all poised for a very exciting Test match series up ahead. I hope all our fans tune in. Karan, if there is anything you want to add, please share with your fans, and I think we'll call it quits after that.
So I want to say 2 things. First thing is, even though we mentioned about Root and Jimmy Anderson, the dark horse which I felt of the English bowling side was Jack Leach. Jack Leach bowled about 50 overs, and the total overs bowled by the English team in this match was about 153. So he basically bowled about 1/3 the number of overs as compared to the team. Now, even though he did pick up 4 wickets in the second innings, but he was that one bowler who I think troubled a lot of our top order batsmen. And even though he got tongued by Rishabh Pant in the first innings, he did not bat that bowl. He did not bowl that bad. So my point is that Jack Leach also did a really good job. And the other thing I want to get to notice is that the last time India lost the first match of a series, they went to win that series. That was in Australia. And the last time India lost the first match of a Test series at home, they went on to win that series as well. So, I know that we lost the first game and we're all feeling a bit sad about it and we've been ranting about it. But I think that whenever this happens, it's always good to have a wake-up call. And I think from here on, India is just going to go up. That's all. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you, Karan. Our fans are going to love what you just said. As an Indian, I truly had a smile on my face, hoping that we can replicate some of those wins from the past. It's been great having you all here. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you stay safe, stay healthy, keep smiling. Tune in to watch the episode before the next match very soon. Thank you.